find all the stuff. But probably there will be times where you will not find everything on the hub. And then you have to come back and you have to create your own custom Docker images. So when you say that I have to create a custom Docker image, you will have to go ahead and write something called Dockerfile. You have to build it and then you have to push those changes to your hub.docker.com. So today we will learn how can we write a custom Docker image and what does it take to write a Docker file and to create a custom Docker image. So let's go ahead. So what I have done is whatever I will be teaching here or whatever I will be sharing with you, I'll put it in this place. Okay, so I've created a document. Yesterday I was working with that Docker. So if you see here, whatever I have, okay, I will keep putting it here, or I will put it here, and you can take it from here. So even the presentation, I will put it here. Okay. So let me do one thing. Add files. Upload a new file. Wait, not like this. Add file. Create a new file. See your presentation. And I will put it here. So the presentation will be, first I'll put all the notes. Docker commands. I'll put everything here in the Docker commands. Also upload the stuffs. So let me come here, add files, upload files, choose the file. So I have this presentation somewhere in my downloads. So whatever I have, okay, I have uploaded it. Obviously, I'll go and edit this because this is not 100% done. Wait a second, what is the problem here? Choose a file. This is what I'm looking at. Okay. Commit the changes. Okay. There's some problem here. I'll fix it later. Anyhow, you will come here and you will get everything. All the content, whatever I want to share, I'll share it on this link only. Okay. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and create my application and I will see what is to be done. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to go ahead and write a Python code, and I'm going to use that Python code to containerize or make it into a container. So let me come down here, and this is where I left yesterday. So this is my instance. Instance. Let me take it is running. To minus user at the rate whatever IP address you have. Appearance change 16. Okay. SSH browse. And this is my key. Open. Yes, I would like to connect. Okay, let me become a root user. Give me a name, host name. I will say Docker sudo su -. Let's clear everything. So I say mkdir or what folders are already there. Let me see. So yesterday I was working with this piece of code. So let me just rename this MV. So if you see, yesterday I had this code. So this is a very simple Python code which says that from random, you have to import random integer. There will be two numbers which you will have to share. One is your max and other is min. If the max is less than the minimum, then it will give you output as invalid and invalid input and shutting down. Else it will come here and a minimum and maximum number will be printed for you. Okay. So if I have to execute this program, I will come here and say Python. Okay. Or I can say Python 3. Or let's try if Python is there. Random.py. So it says cannot import rand it, name a random integer. Okay, let's go ahead. Import random integer. Wait, import pandas. Okay. Import random. Control X, Y, enter. Import pandas, no module named pandas. Cannot import name a random integer. Let me take this, go to internet and see what's the issue with this. Cannot import. So the answer is check random.py or random.pyc, import random. What I'm trying to do, right? Let's come here. I will say on Linux. No, give me 1 second.
Once.
Hello.
Yeah, can you go back to the code once?
1 second. 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'll go to the code. From random import rand int. Cannot import name log. The root directory program, no solution here.
I think use Python 3.
Okay, but I have to install Python 3. Okay, let's try. Python 3. Let me save.
Can you open the code? Go to Nano and see.
Import random from import random integer.
Can you check how you're printing that integer? Is it correct? Like
No, it's not because of the print. It is not because of the print. That is a different story altogether. It is having a problem here itself.
Can you install the Python? Just see
Python
if it is
install Python. Python is already there. pyt python minus version. It should be there. It is pre-installed. Python point this thing, and if I come here, so Python will be pre-installed. Python is not a problem. This code is saying, let's clear everything. What is this early morning? So when you say random, import random integer.
Can you try to print the numbers properly? Print number and max number. Are you getting number?
Numbers in the sense?
No. You are taking those as an input, right? Underscore number and max. So print those after those so that you would know that.
See, Python is an interpreter language. It means it will go step by step. So if your first step is only not working, then it will not go to the next steps. Okay. Wait a second. Let me just figure it out. It is not because of that. No module random integer.
Can you try this? Maybe?
Give me 1 second. Give me
from
1
random input random.
Give me 1 second, okay?
Not use the file name as a random.
Wait. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. We'll fix it. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Import random is there. Random init is working. Random py. Import random should work. If install random. Okay, I'll fix it later. Leave it. I don't want to deviate now. I think you can try giving import random and then use random.
Can you open the code again once again?
See here, so import random, direct random.
No, random. And here on
I
the
think
random library, you can use the random int. Random int.
sorry, Vikas change the file name from random to random one or something. I think it should work.
Random dot rand int.
Why?
Change the file name from random to random one, and then I think it should work.
Let's see. Let me try this. Not sure. This has worked. Okay. So
Okay.
I'll just tell you what happened, and then no, this is not working. This
No, change the file. Change the file name. I think it should work.
Yeah, only the file name is creating that one.
No, bad magic random one.py input. Okay, there's some problem. Okay, with the Python thing. I'll take this later. You leave this. What we will do is we'll go with something else. Now, let's have it back up.
You spoke about the volume part.
No,
It is something to do the version.
it should be import random. So in the namespace, sorry, the pip importing is having problem here.
Yes, the import function is having a problem actually.
No. It will work the way if you open.
Wait a second.
Import random. It should be.
No, I think he already had that initially.
Yes.
Maybe you can try that.
So import random is already done. Actually,
Okay.
it is working till here.
I think you can check Python and then
It fails here.
Right.
Okay. Anyhow, it
It's
is something to
probably
do with the
come back.
syntax. Hold on. It is something to do with the syntax. We'll see this later. I'll leave it for time being. Okay. What I will do is I will go with something else right now, and I'll fix this and I'll come back to you. Okay. So let me just come here and rm minus rf. Just remove these stuffs. Okay, so now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to containerize, or I'm trying to take a module, okay, and I'm trying to containerize it. So the module which I have here is this guy. So this code, what I have here, I will take this entire code and then I'll tell you what I'm doing. Take this. I will come here and first install Git. So I'll say Git. No, Git is not there. I'll say yum install Git so that I can pull the Git code -y. Okay. So now Git is installed. So if I come here and say Git ---- version, I can see Git is installed. Now what I'll do, I'll try to pull this code. So Git and the URL which you have. So now what will happen? Git is not a Git, sorry, Git clone. Clone, whatever you have. So it has pulled everything. And now if I do a ls-l, I can see this code present here. Now if you go inside this code, you can see that there is some set of code, app.mjs. Okay, there is a helper.mjs, there is package.json. So there is something called node.js_app. I'll go here. If I come here, I can see there is a code here. And this code is basically a Node.js code. Okay. Now the question is, do I need to learn Node.js? The answer is no. But then when you are working, you will also have to see what code are you working with. So if I come and show you the code here, Node.js app. Okay, I have a file called server.js, which is a JavaScript file. And here there is some express function. There is some body parser. So even I am not a JavaScript, what you can say, the expert. So I can only tell you one thing here, that app.listener is 80, means this entire thing will work at port number 80. Then if I go back here, I see something called package.json. So package.json is basically, it will take care of all the dependencies like server.js, the name, whatever dependencies you have, it will take care of that. Then this is the public file or the CSS file, which will basically take care of the formatting part. Okay. So when I work on a DevOps world, okay, there will be developers who will give me the code. I will have to just take that code and containerize it, or I have to take that code and run on my container environment. So I told you that if you already have the code which is running, you can take that code and you can run on your Docker environment. So for that, I need a custom Node.js environment. So what I will do is I'll start writing a Dockerfile. So this is the Dockerfile, a 4-line, 5-line stuff. And this is what I need to learn. So you can see the same thing here. I will come here and say nano Dockerfile. So decaps. Okay. If I come down here, I can see few statements here. The first statement talks about from. So whenever you start working with Docker, you create a base image, or you start with a base image. So something which is already there. Okay. So we say, why to reinvent the wheel? So something which is already there, you make use of that. So here, what I'm trying to do is, in the first statement, I'm saying for this image, I'm going to use node as my base image. Okay. So from a base image, it can be anything, but here it's a Node.js code. So I'm trying to run it at node 14. Okay.
No, what is this node? What is this node 14?
Node is your image. Wait, let me show you that.
So you are saying we are going to create an image with a node 14 name?
Wait, I'll tell you, wait. Explore. Node. Here. Okay, now tell me one thing. Now let me say there is a developer. He gives you a code, okay? And he says, you can also execute on your machine. I open the code and I say it's a Node.js code. So what you do is you install Node.js on your machine, on your local machine, and you start executing the code. Okay. Exact same thing is what I'm trying to do on a Docker environment. So there is a developer who gave me a code. It is written in Node.js. It has something called package.json. It has something called server.js. So I see a Node.js code. I'm trying to containerize it. I'm trying to make it, or I'm trying to run it on a container environment. Okay. So first thing what I understood is that I should get a Node.js environment. So I go to my hub.docker.com, and from there I take this official image. So this is what I have done. The first statement says from hub.docker.com, you take node, the image, 14 version of that. Okay, or 14 with 14 tag. Now,
Okay, because if it is a C++ code, then how it will be?
Then
It
you
will
will
not
have
be
to,
Node.
yes, then you will have to go and take that particular base version. So it will totally depend on what type of code it is. You will have to take the base version of that from the Docker Hub.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
If it's the Express.js, we will install the Express.
Yes.
Okay.
So it is a base version basically, or the environment you can talk about.
But because how is this 14 coming, you say?
14 is just a version. You can come here, you can take anything. You can take latest. Nothing stops you. So here, if you come down,
nothing like
tag
section.
section.
Software base we install. On that it will run. Understood.
So from the tag section, you can see here Alpine 3.15 latest. So like this, you will have a lot of versions. I took 14. Okay. So whatever code you get, take an image equivalent or take an image where you think it can work and take a version of that. I took this thing. When you start fresh, okay, every time the working directory will be root directory. So if you don't give something like this, all the code will go and get executed here. So in the root directory. So it will basically be like this. Sorry. Okay. But many times you will not want everything to get executed at the root level. So here, what I do is I create a folder called app, and I say, this is going to be my working directory, or inside the container, whatever you do inside this particular folder. Work directory is telling that this is going to be my working directory. Then you have some commands, like you have this big package.json, which is actually the code. You say, copy this package.json dot. So copy will copy the code which you have on your local machine to inside the container, inside this folder. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a container with this image. Inside that image, I'm trying to create an additional layer where I will copy this package.json. Once this is done, I will say, run a command for me, and that command is npm install. So when you do a npm install, node will, or the elements which is present here in package.json will get expanded or will get installed, and it will run inside the container. Okay, I'm running inside the container. Then it is saying copy dot dot, means whatever elements are required. Okay, you copy the content which is there in your source file or on your host machine inside the container. Then expose port number 80, and the command to run this is node server.js. Okay, Control X. Okay, so if I have been given this simple code, okay, and I was to run it on my local machine, I would have done something like this: npm install. I don't have node here, so it may not work. So npm install first, and then this node server.js. Okay, so node is not present for me, so it is not working. But what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to create a node environment, and I'm trying to execute this code. So this is the Dockerfile which I have created. Base image, working directory, copy the content package.json inside the container, install npm, copy the installed version inside the container, expose port number 80, and finally run the application node server.js. Okay, now let me execute this. So this Docker file is nothing but it's a piece of code, okay, where I'm pulling a Docker image and I'm running a certain set of commands. I want to execute this, or I want to make this as a Docker image. So you will do something like this: Docker build. Okay, Docker build. Then if you want, you can give a name -t for tag. Generally, what we do is we tag it with our username. So my username, working directory will create a directory. So I told that in case you don't give a working directory, everything will be created at /root folder, which many times I will not want. So I will create a working directory for that. So if I come here, this is my username. So when I have to tag, I can tag it like this: Vikas 99341 / give any name, Node.js app. Okay, and then say, if you don't say anything, it is latest. Let me say it is v3.4. Okay, and then you say dot. So what this entire statement means? So this entire statement means that you create a custom Docker image for me with this particular name and tag it with this particular tag ID. You have to build a Docker image, and to build the Docker image, the instructions will be here, dot. Dot is nothing but it is pointing to my Docker file. Why I have given dot? Because my Docker file and the place where I'm executing the code are at same location. So if I run this, it will start the layered approach. See here, the first command is sending the build context to Docker daemon. So the first statement is that you install Docker, go to hub.docker.com, and from there, give me node 14 as my base image. So it is trying to pull the content, extract, download, and it is installing node 14 for me on my container, okay, or on my Docker machine. So it connected to the Docker daemon and it's trying to pull the Docker 14 image. First step, let it go get done. Then the first step is done. First step is done. Okay, let it. Okay. So this is the first step. It is done. So it gives me a commit ID. Then it says, I have downloaded the node 14 image for you. And this is the final commit ID. Then it says, I have created this working directory for you. This is the commit ID for this. Removing intermediate container in between. If something is there, I've removed it. And this is the commit ID for this. The third command said, copy package.json inside the container. So it told, okay, fine, I have done that. See here, the commit ID. So if you're seeing carefully, every statement is taken as one separate statement, and one layer on top of that existing base image is getting created. Then you have run npm install, where it is running this content and giving you some warnings are there, but you can ignore. So something npm fund, so it's a free source tool. So it's saying that if you can want, you can fund me. Again, 0 vulnerabilities, done. Then copy dot command dot means whatever after npm install you got the executables, put it here. Then expose port number 80. Okay, and finally this is the command or the cmd. So later I'll tell you what is cmd, entry point and all. I just want to show you here how to create a Docker file and how to run it. So as of now, if you come here, you can see it says I have tagged and built a separate image for you. Let's clear all these things. Now if I come here and say Docker images, I will see there are multiple images available. One of the image is this guy, and this is what I'm interested in. So if you see carefully, I started with a base image, okay, node 14. It was taken from hub.docker.com, updated 2 weeks back. this is something which I don't need. I can take this out. Docker RMI. So this Nginx thing is from the previous class. Okay. So if you see here, I took node 14 as my base image. And on top of that, I ran a set of commands. So the scenario was something like this. Okay, this is my base image. Then step 1, step 2, step 3, like that, step 7. And finally, I created my own Docker image, which is this. Okay, so this is my own custom Docker image. Okay, and if you see the size, it is slightly more than what the base image size is. Means there are few additional components which are put on top of the base image. Okay, so I can say that I have created this as my custom Docker image. What is the file associated with this, or what is the code associated with this? So if you want to know more, you can say Docker inspect and go inside. Okay, wait a second. Docker inspect. Okay, so these are the details associated with my image. So I said Docker inspect. This is my image and this is my tag. So it says it was created from this repo. Okay, wait a second. Okay, I made a small mistake. I'll change it. Okay, so the ID was Vikas 24775. I gave a different ID. I'll change that. It is saying this is when it was created. No comments were passed while creating. Okay, and this is the path where it was created. This node version was used. This image was pulled from hub.docker.com. This is the working directory. Okay, this is the version of Docker which was used. And like this, these are sharing all the details with you. So what I did is I went ahead and created an image, a custom Docker image from a image which I had. But I made a small mistake. The small mistake is my username is Vikas24775. I named it like this. No worries, I can rename it. How? Docker tag means change the name of this guy. Okay, I'm just changing the name. I'm not doing anything else. Come here. See here. This time, exactly same. They're pointing to the same place. See here. They're pointing to the same place. I just changed the name. So I will just remove this because I don't need this. How to remove? Docker RMI. Sorry. So when I don't give a tag, no, it is pointing to latest. So it is not getting deleted. Okay. So two things. First thing what I did here is I told that I need a custom Docker image. And to get that custom Docker image, I will go and create a Docker file. When I was creating a Docker file, I saw a set of instructions there. Okay. This set of instructions each have their own meaning. Like the first statement was from. So from in capital letters. So it is very specific that you write from in capital letters only. So from in capital letters and then a base image. So that base image should be or must be present in your hub.docker.com. Else it will throw you an error. Then you told something like working directory. Then you told something called working directory. Working directory is the default folder where all the things will work or all the things will get installed. Then you copy this code, which is package.json inside the container. You do an npm install. So to run a command or execute a command, you use run. So remember the keywords, okay? Run, copy, work directory, from, then again copy, then expose, and then CMD. So using these keywords, you created a Docker file. And once you had the Docker file, you went ahead and created an image out of that. And this image is here. Once you have the image, generally you do two things with the image. First, you go ahead and make a container out of it. And next, you also go ahead and make a, let me see, you push it to your hub.docker.com so that others can use it. So first, let's run it. Okay, so to run it, we will use our well-known command docker run. Okay, and then you can say -d for detach mode. Okay, minus name, give node app. Okay, then I will use a port number -p. So I want to expose it. So -p 80 or external outside world I want at 3000. Internally it should run at 80. Okay, and then this guy followed by my tag. This is the complete statement here. So I'm saying docker run means whatever image I'm telling you, make a container out of it, that run it in a detach mode, give the name as node app, expose it or publish it outside at 30,000. Internally, it will run at port number 80 and use this particular image. Can you share email? Is this Docker file? Docker is a YAML kind of thing. Yes, it is a YAML kind of thing. Can you share your email? So email will be shared by Agile team. They will help you to get work. Will this image store in Docker Hub? No, automatically this image will not be stored in the Docker Hub. You will have to go ahead and store it exclusively. Let's run this and see what's happening.
Why are we using the detach mode here?
Because if I use a attach mode, it will block my screen. I don't want my screen to be blocked. So day before yesterday, I spoke about attach mode and detach mode. What are the benefits and what are the problems when you run in attach or a detach mode?
Hi, because I'm having a question with Dockerfile.
Huh?
Actually, I'm from non-development background. Actually, you are using from base image. Actually,
Yes.
in our once I joined Kubernetes admin, actually team asked to create Dockerfile. Actually, they are using some Java, some other file. That time, how can I approach? Which base image can I do?
So see, what base image has to be used, they will tell you. Okay, because because you are not expected to write the base images. Simple ask is, if the wheel has been invented long back, why do you want to reinvent? So whenever somebody will ask you that write a Docker file for me, ask these questions. What will be your working directory? What will be your base image? And what are you expecting from me? Okay. So here, the same set of questions is what I have answered. I created a base image, or I used a base image, working directory, and a set of instructions. So now what I've done is I went ahead and run this command docker run -d something name. And now if I come here and say docker ps -a, so I can see that this particular node app has been created. Okay, it is running on this particular image, and this is the container ID, and it is up and running from last 1 minute or so. Internally, it is running at port number 80, but externally it is running at port 30,000. So what I will do now is I will come back here to my AWS machine here. So this is my instance. I will go to security, and in the security group section, I will make sure that port 30,000 or 3000 is open, which I think I've already done. See here. So port 30,000, the 3000 is already open for me. Okay. So now what I will do, I'll try to run this application. How? So take this IP address, whatever IP address you have for your EC2 instance. Take this. And 1, 2, 3, enter. Yes, it is running. So this is the code which was written in the background. So I had a Node.js code which was giving me this kind of a screen, and I'm able to run it on my container. Now you will say, are you sure it is running from the container? I'll say, let's check. Come back here and let's stop this. Docker stop the container right. It will take some time and it will stop.
Okay, by the meantime, it's stopping. Just I wanted to ask you, in the Dockerfile, the sequence of the operation, what you do? Like
It is
from
mandatory. That sequence has to be maintained.
Okay. Second question, if you have installed only one npm install. If I have multiple app to be installed, then what I have to repeat this one?
No, if installation kind of things are done only once. So there's no requirement or there's no need that you do the same installation again and again. Okay. So I can see here that this guy has kind of exited. Okay. Now because it has exited, if I come back here and I try to run this, it should not run. It is not running. So what I will do, I'll bring it back again. How to bring it back? So wherever you said Docker stop, you will say Docker start. So it has started. Come and check. So from last 4 seconds, it is up and running.
Can you show the code like what you have written? Just one project.
I'll share the GitHub repo with you.
Okay.
I will share everything with you. So the code is present here. Package.json, server.js, and the CSS. So you will be able to go ahead and explore what it is and how it is working. But the main thing here is that I am not going to write any code. Let it be a Node.js or a Java or a Python. I'm not going to write the code. As a DevOps engineer, my work is not to write the code from scratch. Yes, if you are able to write from scratch, very good. But 99% of the times, the expectation is that there will be a set of developers. They will write the code and give it to you on your GitHub. And from there, you take the code and get started. Okay. So are you going to write the Docker file? Yes, you will write the Docker file, but you will not write the code. So I can see here that this particular code, one image in one container, not like that. One image in one container.
No. One container is created from the one image.
No, there is a concept of multi-image also. So down the line, I will teach you, like if I have a container and that container requires 3 images. Yes, you can put 3 images, and there is where Docker Compose comes into picture. Okay. So as of now,
yeah, because this GitHub configuration and all, I am not aware of it. It's already completed.
GitHub, no, GitHub configuration is nothing but you have to come here to github.com and you have to create an account. That's it. So GitHub, come here and create an account. Okay, sign in, sign up, create an account. Then whatever code I am sharing with you, so I have shared a code with you, come and fork it. Okay.
It's look like only a Google Drive. That's all it.
Kind of, not 100%, but kind of. Then when you are using it or you want to use it, whatever content you want, come here to this code, take this URL. Okay, whatever URL you have, come here, do yum install git -y, the git will install, check git --, version, git is there, say git pull and the URL. So for the course, this much git is required. If you go further, then it is like complete git. Then git has so many things. I don't want to get into the details of git. What I just want to show you here is that take the code from GitHub repository and start working with that. So when I went ahead and did a git pull, I saw this piece of code.
Are you doing git clone or git pull?
I lost your voice in between.
So the command, is it git clone or git pull?
So you can use both git clone and git pull. Okay. Git clone means it will copy everything. Git pull means it will copy only the items which has been changed. Okay. You can use either of them. It is up to you. Git pull or git clone, both will work. When you do a git pull or a git clone, you will get this repository here or this stuff here. Say cd, go inside cd, whatever file you want. So let me say, I'm looking at this guy, Node.js app. Go inside, and here you can start your work. So when I say start your work, for me, the Docker file is already written, but you will be expected to write the Docker file. So you will come here and say nano and write this content. Once it is done,
because could you please explain last 2 lines of the Docker file? It's a little bit.
Yes.
Last two.
See here, expose 80 means this particular application will run on port number 80. Okay. If you go to the code, actually I'm trying to avoid the code because there will be people from non-technical background who will not understand the code. So I'm trying to avoid the code. That's it. Anyhow, when you come here, you will see at the end, it is saying app.listen 80. Means this code or this particular server.js will need port number 80 to work. And when I'm trying to execute this particular Docker thing, I'm trying expose port number 80, means let this application run on port number 80. The last command is when you run a node program or a node.js program, you say node and server.js. So this is the execution command. So there are few more varieties here, entry point and all those things, which I'm planning to take later. So this is the command. So let me say, when you run a Java program, you say Java minus CP and then the name. Or when you run a Python command, you say Python and the name of the code. Similarly, when you want to run a node program, you say node and this particular code or whatever you.
Okay, server.js is your code and you are executing in the node in this command, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So if now you go to server.js, see here server.js, you will see the entire code here. So it says app.use express.static. So this express, where it is inside my package.json.
So if you use a different port number, Docker file, not override the.
You can try that. I am not very sure on that. You can try that, but this thing you can definitely change. See, the permutation combinations, I will leave it to you because there is where you will get. So what I will try to do is, so this is something you can definitely change. So internally it is working at port 80. Externally it is working at port 3000. So this 3000 can be changed. You make it 1000, 2000, 5000, whatever you want, you can make it and you can make it run. The only requirement is on the security group, it should be opened.
The nano command is the same as a VI.
Vim editor, VI editor, whatever you say. Okay. It is very simple.
Many companies actually
yeah, a port number 80 we cannot change, but port number 3000 we can change, and we have to update the security according to that in AWS.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, because many companies.
So now what I have shown you is your voice is breaking. Whoever it is, your voice is breaking. Okay, let me. PWD command. Vidya, I guess you missed the first class. So PWD is nothing but present working directory, where we say, where are we currently present? So if you're working with, let me say, a Windows machine, you see where you are because you have a UI. Here you don't have a UI, so you don't know where you are. So you type this PWD, and once you type this PWD, it will tell you on which, see what's PWD. So it will tell you are here, root folder, inside that Node.js, inside that Node.js app.
Because can you hear me now?
In Git clone one, okay, because after clone in time pull, you can do like that also. See, Git clone, Git pull is your call, which one you want to do. But generally it is recommended that you do a Git pull because you don't want to copy things which is
Because can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
So
no, same problem. Same
yeah,
problem.
I have one question because actually suppose we want to push the code in the GitHub repository. So which command we have to use?
You want to push the code, okay?
Yeah.
So there is a Git command. Wait, I'll come to all these things. This DevOps world is huge. There are so many things. What I'm trying to tell you, first grab that, something which is that later. I can show you, right, Git push and all those things, but then there are many people who will not understand. What I'm trying to teach you, get that. Later I will come and teach you all these things, Git push, Git pull and all those things. I'm telling you at this point of time, I just want to do few things. Right. Clear. So I'm just trying to do few things. The code is present somewhere in Git or Git clone, either of them, whichever command is comfortable for you. Git clone and the URL, whatever URL you have. Code is present with you. Now go into this location, take this Dockerfile. Try to understand what is this Dockerfile doing. Why is the machine slow? Try to understand what the content is doing. Once I understood what the content is doing, I will make an image out of this. So this is the image which I made. Okay. So I did something like this, Docker build, and then the stuff. So I would have, or I should have changed here itself. Okay. Then once I run this command, the Docker image is built, Docker images. I can see my images present, but now it is local to me. Okay. I want that it should be visible to everybody. So I will do something called Docker push. Okay. I am trying to push it to my Docker hub, but how will it know who you are? So you have to come here and say Docker login. So it will say, tell me your username. So my username is Vikas24775. Then it says, tell me your password. So my password is, I told when you type your password, it will look like nothing is being typed, but internally, yes, it is being typed. And if your username and password is correct, it will go and get logged in. What is this username and password? What username and password you're talking about? I told that on the hub.docker.com, you go ahead and create an account for yourself. Let it open. I don't know. See here. So this is my credential. So I log out and I'll sign in. So these are the credentials which I just now provided. Vikas24775 and I was able to log in. So this is the credential which I provided here using Docker login. Okay, so if you use Bitbucket, most of the commands will remain same. Almost little bit of differences will be there. Okay, so you can come down here, this repository. So as of now, if you see here, 16 days, 17 days ago, I did something. What I will try to do now is whatever image I created, Docker images. Okay. This is the image I want to push. So I will say Docker push the image name and the don't tag, it takes the latest, right? So come here, it says the push refers to repository and it is trying to push the changes which I have in my local machine to my hub.docker.com. So it will go ahead, mount all the changes here to my hub.docker.com. And from there, you can either make it public or private. So public means anybody can come and do anything. Private means mostly it is for me only or my team members and only I will be able to use it. So if you see here, it says with this size, image has been pushed. Come back here. So I will do a refresh here. And you can see last 4 seconds ago, and it has been Node.js app. So I have made it public. Anybody who wants can come here.
Tag name is mandatory or
tag name is mandatory. Without tag name, it will not work. As I told you, if you go with latest, there is no latest image, so it will not work. So whenever you do a Docker push or Docker pull, you will have to go with this tag name. Okay. So
Because I have a doubt here.
1 second. I told you that this is a tag. This is the OS. It has not been pulled by anyone. So there is nothing mentioned here. And if you keep going inside to that version, you will be able to see the entire command which ran internally. So basically, this is the command which I ran. This is the expose command. This is internally when I said copy ... what actually happened. It is telling you all these things. npm install happened. So this is the version 14.9.0. So this is what has happened internally. So I'll just revisit everything and then I'll take the questions. So what I'm trying to tell you is what we did is many a times you will see that the image which you're looking at is not present. So you go ahead and create your own custom Docker image. For custom Docker image, you will definitely need a base version. So you should know what base version you're picking it up. Once you pick that base version, you go ahead and create a Docker file where you go ahead and say, using that Docker file, I'm going to create an image. That image, you can tag it or you can leave it as it is. It will go as a latest if you don't tag it. Once the image is available, you can run the image and make a container out of it. And you can get the container for yourself. Once it is done, you would like to share it with other folks or you would like to keep it secure for future usage. So you will go and push it to your Docker Hub. So as of now, I'm using Docker Hub, but in future, if you want, we can put it in our private registries like ECR and all those things are there. So those also will be done later. Now, I'll open it for questions. If you have any, please go ahead.
Hi. Hello. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Because suppose I have an X type of code, so already is written, already is running on the some production. So I want to move the this code to the production containerization. So shall I add any additional changes in the code, or directly we can write the document?
No, I am not asking you to change the code. So when I talked about container, I never told that the code is what we are going to change. I told that the developer is running the code on his local machine and he has given me to containerize it. So my make a container and something where the code, script, dependencies, software, everything is together. I'm trying to do in my Dockerfile. I want to put everything to not touching the code.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, Vikas. Hello.
Yeah.
So,
your voice is breaking. Can you put it on the chat window?
Okay.
Can we roll back the container once it is installed? Rollback is always there. You can do a rollback or you can simply delete it. Container is something like use and throw. So anytime you can get it.
No, my question is this: if a container is running, so because of some issue, the container is got stopped. Okay, automatically one more container will start. How this can be happen?
No, that will not happen. For that, you have to start Kubernetes. Automatically is going to happen here.
Because Adarsh, I have one question.
Yeah.
One container will be running already. Okay, I'll make a changes in the Dockerfile. How to update this?
Again, build it. Again, build the code. Again, run everything.
Okay, that container will go exit.
You can delete the old container. See,
okay.
The problem with Docker is that you have to do everything manually. You change the code, go ahead and build it again, go ahead and recreate the image and delete the old container. So everything has to be done manually. There is where Kubernetes comes in. So finally, I will tell you why Kubernetes is doing good and all those things. But as of now, any changes, you will have to do it manually.
So we cannot update a running container.
Yes. Is there any change in the code? I told the change. You do not touch the code. Code is not your responsibility. Code is developer's responsibility. Show us the image in Hub. In Hub, in the sense, I showed you, right?
Yep. I said in the Dockerfile, actually, we did some changes, updated the Dockerfile.
I'm telling you, in case you have any changes in your code,
okay,
you go back, do everything from the beginning. So this is what I have.
Okay.
This is the image which I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So we use the Kubernetes to automate this.
Voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking. Chat window. Your voice is breaking.
Hi Vikas. No, good morning. Here you're running the Docker in an EC2 instance.
Yes.
So if you want to consider with respect to ECS, so how we are going? Are we approaching that particular thing in next clip?
I told you, yes, I told you as of now, I'm only dealing with Docker Hub, but later when you come to your private repository, ECS and all, I will take care of that. I told you.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Because in real-time scenario, like as you said, like the developers build the code and give it to us. So what we exactly manages? So
you write the Docker file, you create an image out of that, and you push that image to your Docker Hub or your private registry. That is what you will.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Because in the Dockerfile, we can you can teach the Nginx portion.
You can do everything, man. See, it is a world of possibilities. I just showed you one example. Actually, I was willing to show two examples. One related to Node, related to Python, but the Python was causing a problem. So probably I'll fix it and come back to you tomorrow. But when you say Docker, the definition is any software anywhere, right? So you have Nginx, you have .NET, you have Python, you have anything, it will run.
Okay.
Because some container will be running, okay, that has to integrate with the same DB. How we can do that?
For that, you will have to go with Docker Compose. I'll come to that. So somebody asked something, right? That I have one container and I want to put multiple images there. How can I do that? I told that we will use Docker Compose. So I'll come to that.
It is in Kubernetes?
Kubernetes is different. Kubernetes, the way of operating will be different. Kubernetes, there will be a different way. So I'll come to Kubernetes. Let's not take everything at once.
Okay. Yeah, because yeah, so maybe I think I joined late, maybe 2 days of my first class. So since yesterday I have joined. So actually I have couple of doubts related to Docker. Developer has created the code and even he can deploy the code, right?
Yes, yeah. You can also deploy the code.
Yeah. So what the use of the basically is in the layman? So what's the use of the Docker? So why we are using the main code?
No. You repeat the last part, no?
So actually the developer is creating the code, right? And even developer can also deploy everything the code. Yeah.
See,
So
when you work on an enterprise level, like let me say I'm working for company X,
yeah.
definitely I can do everything, but there is time constraint, there is knowledge constraint. So when you go for a college project, a small college project, there also your teachers will say 4 members take the responsibility and do as a unit. So when on an enterprise level, I want, yes, I can do everything individually. If we talk about team, big project, there will be n number of people and each one will be given a responsibility. So that is how it works on a enterprise level.
Hey, Vikas. Hello.
Yeah.
So what I was asking is, when we execute the Docker file, can we not automate that by any chance? Like it has to be, it can be run at certain time.
All the automation work can be done via Kubernetes. When we come to Kubernetes,
Okay, gotcha.
in the beginning, I'll tell you why are we using Kubernetes. The entire orchestration can be done via Kubernetes. At the end, I will tell you why Docker was not able to cope up and why Kubernetes came. So there is where I will tell you what manual things, problem, and all those things.
And maybe because the Kubernetes can run on cluster, maybe that is another benefit. Could
Yes,
be.
yes.
Yeah, Docker is also having some kind of orchestration, right?
Docker has Docker Swarm. So that is there. So orchestration is a different thing altogether, which will come in the classes ahead. But as of now, I am concentrating only on container and how to manage these containers.
Vikas, can you share the PPTs actually with us?
So that's what I told you. I will upload it on this location. And you can take it from here. So now it's trying to upload, it's failed due to some reason, but I'll try to upload everything here. So the presentation and all, you will get it from here. The code, you will get it from here. So somebody was asking for the notes and all will be present here. So you keep an eye on this link, you will get everything on the link itself.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you
Will you go to teach how to deploy? Deployment will be there. Cloud deployment will be there. Great sessions. Okay. Thank you. Greetings from Mexico. Thank you, Rod. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Can you please share the link? So
Yep. I'll put it in the chat window so that everybody gets it.
Yeah. In the Docker page, there is an option like upgrade. Does it help by any chance?
No.
The upgrade?
See, Docker has limitations and you can't rely 100% on Docker. So that is why Kubernetes is so popular. Okay, I'll drop now. We meet tomorrow again.
Yeah,
tomorrow is Monday, and then we resume from there. See you then, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Vikas. Good night.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Vikas.